What if I told you the way you masturbate today could be sabotaging your sexual performance tomorrow? I'm talking about your ability to stay hard, to last as long as you want, and to truly enjoy intimacy with confidence. For many men over 60, these problems sneak in slowly. At first, you notice small changes, climaxing a little faster than you want, needing more stimulation to get hard, or feeling less excitement with your partner. You may chalk it up to just getting older. But here's the truth I've seen after 30 years in urology. Age is not the only reason. In fact, your habits, especially how you masturbate, can rewire your sexual response in ways that make these problems worse. And the best part? You can reverse it. Today I'm going to reveal the 3 most common masturbation mistakes that harm sexual health and the simple, natural fixes you can start right now. Stay with me until the end, because the last mistake is the one my patients say changes everything. I'm Dr. Marissa Blake, a board-certified urologist with over 30 years of experience helping men restore their sexual health naturally. In my career, I've treated thousands of men, many in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, who believed their declining performance was an unavoidable part of aging. What I've seen time and again is that small, daily habits make a bigger difference than most pills or procedures ever could. And when we address these habits, men often experience dramatic improvements in just weeks, without dangerous side effects or complicated treatments. Let's talk about what this really feels like. You might have noticed that your body doesn't respond the way it used to. Maybe you climax sooner than you'd like, even when you're trying to slow down. Maybe you have to work harder just to get and keep an erection. Or maybe you feel less excitement during sex, as if the spark has faded. These changes can hit you where it hurts most, not just physically, but emotionally. They can chip away at your confidence. They can make you avoid intimacy out of fear that you'll disappoint your partner. And over time, they can create distance in relationships you care deeply about. I've had men in my clinic tell me they feel less of a man, or that their body no longer matches the man they are inside. That frustration builds. The worry about performance can turn into a constant background noise in your mind, even outside the bedroom. One of my patients, a 64-year-old named Richard, came in convinced that his sex life was over. He told me, "Doc, it's like my body just stopped listening to me." But as we dug deeper, we found it wasn't age shutting him down. It was a few hidden habits he'd repeated for decades, without realizing their impact. And Richard is not alone. I see this pattern in men from every background. It's not about being weak. It's not about a lack of desire. It's about the way your brain and body adapt to what you do repeatedly, especially when it comes to sexual activity. The truth is, these problems don't have to get worse. You can take back control, but first, you need to understand what's really causing them. And that's exactly what we're about to explore. Your body is an incredible machine. It adapts to what you do most often. This is called neuroplasticity, the brain and nervous system's ability to rewire themselves based on repeated patterns. When it comes to sexual health, this can work for you or against you. Every time you masturbate, you're sending signals through your nervous system. You're teaching your brain and body how to respond to arousal, touch, and stimulation. Over months and years, these patterns become automatic. Here's the problem. If your habit is to rush, your body learns that arousal should lead to climax quickly. If you always use pornography, your brain becomes conditioned to respond only to extreme visual stimulation. And if you always use the same intense pressure or position, the death grip, your penis adapts to that exact sensation, making softer, more natural touch feel less stimulating. Over time, these habits create 3 main issues. 1. Premature ejaculation, because your body expects a fast finish. 2. Pornography-induced erectile dysfunction, PIED, because your brain craves visual intensity that real life can't match. 3. Desensitization, Because your penis only responds to a very specific kind of touch. For men over 60, there's another layer. With age, circulation can slow, testosterone can decline, and recovery time after arousal may take longer. These natural changes mean that any habit reducing your sensitivity or stamina has a bigger impact now than it did when you were younger. And here's where it becomes a cycle. The more you struggle with performance, the more you may rely on these same habits for quick relief. That reinforces the very patterns that caused the problem in the first place. The good news? Neuroplasticity works both ways. Just as your brain and body adapted to the wrong patterns, they can be retrained to respond in ways that improve stamina, sensitivity, and confidence. That's why the next step isn't about giving up masturbation, it's about changing how you do it. In a moment, I'll walk you through the 3 most common mistakes I see in my patients, and the simple, natural fixes that reverse them. Here's the most important thing I want you to hear today. These problems are not a life sentence. Your body is designed to adapt. That means it can also unlearn the patterns that are hurting your sexual health and replace them with ones that make you stronger, more sensitive, and more confident. You don't need risky pills. You don't need expensive devices. You don't need to accept frustration as just part of getting older. What you do need is a clear plan to retrain your brain and body, a way to use masturbation as a tool for sexual improvement, instead of letting it quietly work against you. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the 3 most common mistakes men make when they masturbate. Mistakes that can weaken erections, shorten stamina, and dull sensitivity. More importantly, I'll show you exactly how to fix each one. And these fixes are simple. You can start them today. So let's begin with the first mistake, the one that trains your body to finish before you want to. Mistake 3. Rushing. Many men treat masturbation like a race. Get aroused. Get to the finish line. Get it over with. It might seem harmless. In fact, it might even feel efficient. But over time, this habit trains your body to expect a quick climax. Your brain learns that arousal should lead to orgasm as fast as possible. This conditioning makes it harder to last during partner sex. Even if you want to go longer, your body is wired to finish quickly. That's how premature ejaculation develops. Not always because of nerves, but because of years of sprint training in private. And there's another layer: performance anxiety. Once you notice you're finishing too soon, you start to worry. That worry tightens your body, rushes your mind, and weakens your erection. It's a loop that feeds itself. The fix: turn the sprint into a marathon. This means deliberately slowing down your practice sessions. Here's how. Set aside private time where you won't be interrupted. Focus on sensation, not just the finish. Get close to orgasm, then stop. Breathe deeply. Let the urge settle. Start again at a slower pace. This technique is called edging. It teaches your nervous system that arousal doesn't have to end right away. Start with a goal of 10 minutes. Over time, you'll find that your control improves not just alone, but with a partner. I've had patients extend their stamina from under 2 minutes to over 10 in just a month by making this one change. If this makes sense so far, type yes in the comments to let me know you're with me. Now, once you've slowed down, the next step is to make sure the kind of stimulation you're using isn't secretly reducing your sensitivity. That brings us to the second mistake. Mistake 2, pornography dependence. For many men, pornography feels harmless. It's quick, intense, and always available. A way to spark desire, especially if you're feeling lonely or less responsive. But here's the problem. Porn is like fast food for your sexual brain. It's engineered to overstimulate you, with endless novelty and intensity. The more you use it, the more your brain adapts to it. Over time, this can lead to pornography-induced erectile dysfunction, where real-life intimacy feels less exciting, less stimulating, or even fails to trigger a full erection. Studies on neuroplasticity show that the brain responds to whatever you feed it most. If you repeatedly pair arousal with extreme, unrealistic visuals, your brain starts to need those visuals just to feel turned on. And after 60, when natural arousal may already take more effort, that dependency can make things even harder, literally and figuratively. The fix: take a screen-free approach to masturbation. Here's how to start. Pick one session a week with no visual aids at all. Use your imagination. Recall real moments from your past or create new fantasies. Focus on the sensations in your body, how your breathing, touch, and muscle tension build your arousal. If you find that difficult, try replacing video with erotic audio or written stories. These allow your mind to fill in the details, which reawakens your brain's natural pathways. One of my patients, Tom, 67, went from needing porn daily to being fully responsive with his wife after just 6 weeks of reducing his use. He said, "I didn't realize how much more connected and alive I could feel." Start small. Increase your screen-free sessions over time. Your sensitivity and connection will thank you. Now, even if you slow down and reduce porn. There's one more hidden habit that can quietly reduce your sensitivity. And it's one most men never think about. Mistake 1: the death grip. This is the mistake almost no one talks about, and most men don't even realize they're doing it. The death grip happens when you use the same intense, tight pressure during masturbation every time. Same hand, same position, same movement. Often the grip or friction is far stronger than what you'd experience during sex with a partner. Over time, your penis adapts to this exact sensation. This is sexual conditioning at work. Your nerves and brain get used to that level of pressure, and anything softer, like natural touch, feels less stimulating. The result? You might find it harder to stay aroused or even reach orgasm during partner sex because your body only responds to the training it's been getting. The fix: break the routine. Vary your technique to mimic real intimacy. Here are a few ways to do it. Switch hands to change the angle and pressure. Use lighter touch and slower movements. Change positions. Stand, sit, or lie down differently. Add lubricant to reduce friction and create a smoother sensation. Try using a condom during solo practice to simulate the feel of partner sex. These variations help retrain your nerves and brain to respond to a wider range of sensations. One of my patients, Alan, 63, made just 2 changes: lighter grip and adding lubricant, and within a month he told me, "It feels like I got my body back." If you've been using the same technique for years, give your body time to adjust. Be patient. You're teaching it to respond naturally again. Now that you know all 3 mistakes and the exact steps to fix them, let's pull everything together so you can start your own plan today. We've covered a lot today, so let's bring it all together. You now know that some of the most common masturbation habits can silently work against your sexual health, especially after 60. Mistake 3: rushing. This trains your body to finish too quickly, leading to premature ejaculation. Fix: slow down, practice edging. Focus on sensation, not just the finish. Mistake 2: relying on pornography. This can desensitize your brain and make real-life intimacy feel less exciting. Fix: reduce or replace porn with imagination, audio, or written stories to rebuild natural arousal pathways. Mistake 1: the death grip. This conditions your penis to respond only to intense, repetitive stimulation. Fix: break the routine. Use lighter touch, vary positions, switch hands, add lubricant, or simulate partner sex. Here's the key point. These changes aren't just techniques. They're part of retraining your brain and body through neuroplasticity. Just as old patterns created your current challenges, new patterns can create stronger erections, longer stamina, and more satisfying intimacy. And it doesn't matter if you've been making these mistakes for decades. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s make these shifts and enjoy real improvements. Think about what that means for you. The ability to last as long as you want. Erections that feel stronger and more reliable. A deeper connection with your partner and with yourself. You don't have to accept decline. You can take control starting today. So the question is, are you ready to begin retraining your body? Because the sooner you start, the sooner you see change. If you're ready to take back control of your sexual health, start with just one of the fixes we discussed today. Slow down. Use your imagination. Change your technique. Small changes, repeated consistently, create powerful results. I want to hear from you. Comment, "I'm ready" if you're starting today, or 0 if you still have questions you'd like me to answer. I read every single comment because your story matters. And don't keep this to yourself. Share this video with a friend, brother, or father who needs to know he's not alone and that it's never too late to change. If you found value here, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. That way, you'll get more practical, science-backed advice on thriving after 60, physically, sexually, and emotionally. Remember, your best years don't have to be behind you. You can feel stronger, more confident, and more connected than you have in years. This is your moment to start. I'll see you in the next video.